Most gardeners are working harder on their soil than they need to and still getting weak results. The real problem isn't effort, it's soil biology that's completely shut down. When soil goes dead, it's not just lacking nutrients, it's losing microbial activity, structure, and the ability to process anything you add. That's why people keep pouring compost, manure, and fertilizers into gardens that barely respond. The inputs are there, but the system that should use them is offline. I've seen this happen in backyard plots, raised beds, and even container systems where everything looks fine on the surface, but nothing grows with real strength underneath. That's exactly why I started focusing on soil activation instead of soil feeding. And before anything else, I want to show you how I check what's actually going on underground before I touch anything. I use a simple 4-in-1 soil meter that measures moisture, pH, temperature, and sunlight conditions. Because the biggest mistake gardeners make is assuming soil is ready when it's actually locked, dry, or biologically inactive. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It removes guesswork and shows you when soil can actually respond. Now, once you understand that, rice stops being just kitchen waste and becomes something much more powerful. And this is where things start to get interesting. It starts with rice water, but not the way most people use it. Most gardeners rinse rice and pour the cloudy water straight into soil, expecting results. That doesn't do much. What actually works is fermentation. I take rice rinse water, leave it in a loosely covered container for 2 to 3 days, and let it naturally ferment. You'll notice a slight sour smell. That's microbial activity developing. Then I dilute it, roughly 1 part fermented rice water to 10 parts clean water, and apply it directly to soil. What's happening here isn't fertilization, it's activation. In one of my test beds that had compacted, lifeless soil, this alone triggered visible biological activity within just a few days. The soil started holding moisture better, and plant response improved without adding a single gram of fertilizer. But here's what most people miss. This only works if the soil can hold moisture consistently. If it dries out, microbial activity collapses again. That's why, honestly, conditions matter more than inputs. Now, once you've activated the biology, the second rice method actually builds structure inside the soil itself. Cooked rice buried in controlled zones. This is where, honestly, most people get it wrong. They either avoid it completely or throw large amounts randomly into the soil, which leads to pests or uneven breakdown. What I do is very controlled. Small handfuls of cooked rice, buried about 4 to 6 inches deep, spaced evenly across the bed. Each of these becomes a micro-feeding zone. Within just a few days, microbial activity increases around those spots, and worms begin concentrating in the same areas. That's not random. It's a biological response to localized food sources. In one raised bed experiment, I noticed worm activity actually doubled within 2 weeks using this method alone. But there's a limit to this, and I'll explain why overdoing it can backfire a bit later in the script. Before we continue, if you're serious about fixing your soil instead of just guessing, this is a good time to subscribe. Because what we're talking about here isn't theory, it's how soil systems actually restart. Now let's go deeper into the third rice method. We're talking about rice bran, or fine rice residue. This is where long-term soil rebuilding really happens. Rice bran is rich in carbon and micronutrients that feed fungi and bacteria over time. Instead of giving a quick burst, it creates slow, steady biological activity. I mix a thin layer, about ½ a cup per square meter, into the topsoil and water it lightly. And, what you won't see immediately is just as important as what you will. Below the surface, fungal networks begin expanding. Soil starts becoming more crumbly, more structured, and much better at holding moisture. In one of my comparison beds, the treated side retained moisture significantly longer and supported stronger root development than the untreated side. This is not instant feeding. This is soil reconstruction. Now let's correct a mistake many gardeners make when they hear about organic activation. More is not better. Adding too much rice, especially in warm or wet conditions, can create anaerobic pockets, areas without oxygen. That leads to sour smells, slow decomposition, and, in some cases, plant stress instead of improvement. I've made this mistake early on. I assumed more organic input meant faster recovery. What I actually got was compacted, oxygen-starved soil that took weeks to recover. The fix is simple but important. Small amounts evenly distributed and always paired with proper airflow and moisture control. That's where most soil systems succeed or fail. Now here's the fourth rice technique that ties everything together. Rice wash mulch activation. Instead of using rice water directly in soil, I sometimes use it to pre-activate mulch materials. Dry leaves, straw, or shredded cardboard are lightly soaked in diluted, fermented rice water before being laid over the soil. This triggers decomposition from the top down instead of waiting for natural breakdown. Within days, you'll see microbial activity increase under the mulch layer, and worms start moving upward into the system. In dry or degraded soils, this method creates a protective living layer that stabilizes temperature and moisture while feeding the soil underneath. And this is where soil transformation actually becomes visible. Now let's connect the bigger picture, because this is where most people misunderstand what's happening. Rice isn't acting like fertilizer, it's acting like a biological switch. It doesn't feed plants directly, it wakes up the system that feeds plants. Microbes activate, worms follow, soil structure improves, and, nutrient cycling restarts. But none of this works if the environment is unstable. If moisture swings too much, biology shuts down. If soil is too dry, everything stops. If it's too wet, oxygen disappears and the system collapses. That's why, honestly, soil conditions always come before soil inputs. Now, here's something I want to be very clear about. This method doesn't replace compost or fertilizer long term. What it does is restart a dead or inactive system so those inputs actually work again. Without biology, compost is just organic matter sitting in soil. With biology, it becomes fuel for growth. That's the difference. So, if your soil feels tired, compacted, or unresponsive, don't rush to add more inputs. Start by activating it. Use fermented rice water to wake up microbial life. Use controlled buried rice to attract worms. Use rice bran to rebuild structure. And use activated mulch to stabilize the system. Because once soil biology is active again, everything changes. Plants respond faster, roots grow deeper. And honestly, the same inputs you were already using start working properly. If you found this useful, subscribe to Farmogic. This is where we focus on real soil systems that actually perform in real conditions, not recycled gardening advice. And share this with someone struggling with dead soil. Because in many cases, the solution isn't more fertilizer, it's restarting what was already there.